welcome back to the Gathering Place podcast. I'm super excited about today. This is one of our very dear friends, Miss Traci Armwine. So, very cool story of how we met that we'll share during the podcast. But now we work together. And so every day. And so Traci is one of mine and Hope's nearest and dearest friends, and we love her and her hubby to pieces. But we're just going to have a conversation today and just go with it. So thank y'all for joining us. And let's go.
Let's go.
We're going to roll it off. Traci Lou.
4 years, JoJo.
That's what I call her. Traci Lou. So I don't know if she likes that or not.
It's all good.
I think Hope calls you that too, right?
She called me that too,
so,
and you call me that.
Cool story. Yeah. I guess 4.5 years ago or so, I was working an open house.
Yeah.
And your hubby come through, and we met and just kind of kicked it off. I really didn't think too much about it, but he was like, when my wife gets here, I'll get back in touch with you. And I hear that all the time, I'll get back in touch with you. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
Don't call me, I'll call you.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And so he called a few weeks later, and he was like, hey, man, this is Joel. I met you at the open house. I'm like, Joel, who? What open house? Yeah. And so, and then,
you're the one.
Yeah. And so, but he did call, and he was like, hey, I told you I'd call. We're interested. I'm here. He came here for work.
Right.
And, he came through on his end. I should have been better about following up with him, but he came through on his end.
Yep.
Ended up letting me know when you were going to be in town. And then kind of tell the story from there.
So the rest is kind of history. Yeah. Well, so I came into town, and I think we had lined up. I know we had been talking back and forth, and I think we had 20 houses lined up that day.
Yeah. It was a marathon.
Ambitious. It was a marathon, but we had a short time frame.
Here,
but it was horrible timing too. I know. It was a weekend right after Christmas. That year, and drove around, talked, and just really kind of, just really hit it off. There was a lot of common things that we had in common, and it was a good day.
Yep.
Found a house. Didn't have what my husband wanted.
Oh, it wasn't that. It wasn't like that. It was. I honestly think we had 12 or 14 houses on schedule for one day.
We did.
And it was like a 6 or 7 hour time frame that we had to see all these houses. So
some of them we just rode by.
Some of them we knew. No, it wasn't it. But then, so a little kind of, and I'm giving away my tips and tricks and secrets here. A little bit of what I do is I kind of either preview the house or just really dig into it and look at it before we go look at them. And after kind of talking and getting to know, I talked to Joel mainly. I don't know that I really talked to you before.
I don't think so either. But in the car, we were talking about different things.
But kind of getting to know Joel a little bit better. I kind of line them up, and I like to do the wow house at the end. Because, I knew we were hitting on some duds and all that. So we did. We drove right by some. There were some we'd walk in the front door and go, nope, let's go. So we went on to the next one. But I knew the house you're in, I knew that was your house. And so when we were in your neighborhood, we looked at one before that.
Right.
And then we go to the house that I knew was going to be your house.
Yeah.
And so I just let you in.
You sure
because
did.
I knew when you
set
turned
up,
the corner there, I set it up beautifully.
It
was
did.
the last house we were looking at, too.
Yep.
And I knew when you turned the corner into the living room, dining room, kitchen area, it was over.
Yeah, it was over.
It was over. Yep.
Yeah, so did Joel.
Yep.
I was like, oh. It's like, this one's it.
Yep.
This one's it.
Yep.
And
so
we
where'd y'all come from?
We loved it. So we lived in New Mexico. We were both kind of, Joel was born in El Paso and then grew up in New Mexico. And I came to New Mexico when I was about 5.
Yeah.
So the rest of our life was, growing up there. Lived in Carlsbad for about the last 10 years or so before we moved out. Our last kid had just graduated from high school and was fixing to go to college, and so it's like, now's the time.
Yeah.
We had kind of made a decision earlier that year. It's like, okay, the goal for this year is to get out of New Mexico. Didn't have anything lined up, and then he got a job offer out here, so he came on out here. It was supposed to be 6 months.
Yeah.
He came out, I believe it was like in April. And so by like September, when they kept extending, I'm like,
I'm done.
I didn't like this place when I got here. And I certainly don't like it when you're gone.
Yeah.
So we put the house up for sale. And like I said, Allie was gone, and Brandon was working, so it wasn't any big deal. So it's like, nope, we're coming out there.
Yeah.
So
that's what we love it.
Love it.
Y'all love it.
Love
so
it.
you put your house up for sale. It went under contract. You were under contract on the new house, and y'all decided to take a cruise.
Well, it had been
the week
planned
before
for a while.
The week before closing.
we didn't know it was going to be closing.
We're going for a while.
So that was not the way that was supposed to all work out. That was not.
I think y'all were supposed to close on your New Mexico house before y'all left to go on the cruise, and that didn't happen.
We were supposed to close on the New Mexico house before I left New Mexico.
Got it.
Because Joel was still out here. He never came back.
Right.
We had movers come and pack us up and come out. We were supposed to close before I even left the state. And that didn't happen. And
but you had to get on that cruise boat, didn't you?
Well, we didn't want to be out that money. It was my birthday, dadgummit, so yeah. And he had bought that cruise like a year before. He's like, next year for your birthday, we're going on a cruise. I'm like, all right, fine. So, who knew we were going to be right in the middle of buying a house and selling a house.
I'm trying to sell one, so.
But we didn't find out because that house actually didn't even close until we were on the boat.
Yeah.
And we actually had to have power of attorney to close for us.
I know.
In
because
New
I'm
Mexico.
sweating bullets over here in South Carolina.
Right.
Talking to y'all's agent out there.
Yeah.
Like, tell me when y'all are finished.
Yeah.
So I was sweating bullets over here.
Well, they got a hold of me on the boat.
Yeah.
The day that they were supposed to close, because I kept watching. It's like, okay, they're supposed to be done. They call me. There's like, Traci, where is Stacy at? She's the one who's supposed to pat my POA, right? I'm like, what do you mean, where's Stacy? She's supposed to be there. She's like, I keep trying to call her and I haven't gotten a hold of her. I hang up. I'm trying to call Stacy. No answer. Stacy calls me back. I'm like, where are you? Well, I just got done depositing your check into your banking account. I'm like, you think you're funny, don't you? She's like, yeah, we decided. I'm like, I don't need any more stress on this thing.
Trying to relax,
Not at all.
dadgummit.
Trying to relax here. So, we get back on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was, and then we got to close on Monday.
Yep.
So
all worked out
that was an ordeal, boy. Let me tell you.
All worked out beautifully.
Did.
So, and y'all have a beautiful house.
Yeah.
Both of you love it here, as far as I can see.
Yeah.
Looking from the outside in.
Yep.
Looks like y'all just fit right into our community.
Yeah.
And you've actually gotten most of your family members to move here.
Careful what you wish for, but they have. Yeah. My mom is out here, and my brother and sister-in-law. Yeah.
Yep. And then
my niece.
Yep.
My nephew's trying to work on it.
Yep.
And
both of your kids.
So, yeah, both my kids.
So
yeah.
So just recruiting them all to the south over here, right?
That's right.
So
they love it too.
But so the quality of life, like, how would you say that your quality of life has changed from New Mexico life to South Carolina life?
So much, especially being in Carlsbad, we were 4 hours from anything.
Oh God.
Anything.
Yeah.
Albuquerque was 4 hours. Well, Lubbock was about 3. El Paso about 2.5.
Yeah.
But no beach, and we were probably about 2 hours from the mountains. So that was probably my saving grace, is that my favorite mountain range was about 2 hours from where we were. But being out here...
Interesting. I didn't know you were a mountain girl.
So let me tell you something. So this is kind of interesting. So there's a place in Ruidoso. When you're going up there, you're kind of coming up the mountain, and you kind of make a curve, and you just see the mountains and the town's right there, and it's just... That used to be one of the places that I would go, and it would be just like You know,
Really?
just everything
Yeah.
thing go away. But you know what? I saw a picture. I think Teresa posted a picture of the marsh the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that same feel. Not
It
even
kinda just-
expecting anything. It was just looking at the picture, it just went.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was really kind of strange because that caught me off guard because it's always been that road up to Ruidoso does that every time. But now the marsh does.
Yeah.
And I'm only 2 hours from that.
And Beaufort and the beach and the water and the
That's
marsh and the wildlife and
That's
the
right.
old huge oak trees with the moss hanging off of them and just the sunsets are unreal there.
Sheldon Church Road.
Yeah.
And
So that's like our mine and Hope's just getaway to where it just feels like you're going into a different world.
It does.
When we turn off of 78 onto Old Sheldon Church Road,
My favorite.
it's like all the cares of the world just kind of escape your body.
That's right.
And then you're only like 40 minutes to the beach from there.
That's right.
So,
Yep.
And then same thing with y'all. Y'all have grown to love it as well. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've always loved the beach. We just never been around it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
When
now
I was
you're-
a kid, I was in LA, so we would go to the beach, but I was a kid.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And now you're 2 hours
and
from
now
it.
I'm 2 hours
So,
from it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Run down there on the weekend,
Doesn't
enjoy
get
it,
any
come
better.
back and
That's
get
right.
to work.
That's
So,
right. Or work while you're down there,
That's
or
right.
whatever it is.
That's right. That's right. So, let's see. You worked for a facility here for a little while.
I did.
When you came out. You just transferred jobs from New Mexico.
Sort of. I
kind of,
kind of did. They're kind of the same,
Yeah.
along the same lines,
Yeah.
but they moved us out here.
Yeah.
And so I'm thankful for that. And I was out there for about a year, 2 years, I guess. Yeah, probably about 2 years.
Under lock and key.
Under lock and key. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's one of those places where you need a security clearance to do anything.
To go to the bathroom.
To go to the bathroom.
You need a security
by
clearance.
yourself. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that took about 8 months.
Yeah.
So
that didn't, well, let's see, how am I phrase that?
I had the opportunity
you
to
had better
change.
opportunities
That's right.
come along.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
and you took it.
I did.
So, I love to tell the story that I hired Traci one day and then fired her the next.
True story.
Very true. It's very true. So,
very true.
So,
Very true.
interesting story. I was looking for a transaction coordinator because with the way we have grown, like we've got stuff just coming out of our ears. There's always lots of stuff going on. You were looking for a change.
Right.
And so I remember us interviewing and kind of talking and all that, and said, "You're hired. Let's go."
Yeah.
That was on Sunday.
I worked one day. I worked Monday.
Yeah. Kind of training.
Yeah, kind of
little
training.
bit. And
Tuesday,
then-
I went to Walgreens, and I'm sitting in the parking lot, and you call, and you're like, I've changed my mind.
How do I say this? But so interesting how that happened. So you were a great TC, like for your one day. That
For
you
my
were.
one day.
You were awesome.
I rocked
I
it,
couldn't
man. I
get
rocked
anybody
it.
better
That's
for
right.
that one day. I'm kidding. Just to let you know that, okay?
I appreciate that.
No, but so even when we were interviewing for you to come on to that position, like I just had this tug the whole time. I just had a very unsettled feeling that you're not a TC.
Yeah.
Like you're not an assistant or anything like that. And so I just said, that Sunday night, I don't think I slept a wink because I brought you on and then I just had this pull that this is not the position. Like this is just not it.
Yeah.
And so I actually called and said, "You're fired, but you're not fired. I want you to get your real estate license."
Right.
Because you're an agent.
Yeah.
Your personality, your hustle, your drive, everything about you as an agent.
Yeah.
And so you're like, I don't know how you took it, like, but it's kind of.
It was kind of like, so I picked myself up off
It
the
was kind
floor.
of like,
I was okay. I'm like,
okay,
really?
You really don't know where to go with it, right?
No.
So, but anyways,
No.
I got you lined up with what school to go to and how to do all the things real estate, and you sailed on through it.
Yeah.
Like the clock was ticking.
And at that point, I had to. I mean,
Yeah.
my back was against the
Yeah.
wall.
Had
I
to do
didn't have
something.
anything else. And
Yep.
so, yeah.
But through
Yeah.
that, it's been pretty amazing.
It has been.
So this is going to be our segue into our next episode.
Perfect.
So we're going to stop here, but I've got a couple kind of like quick questions to ask you on the way out of this episode of us. So what is your favorite all-time book that you've ever listened or read?
Probably my favorite all-time book is one that I finished a few months ago called name just left me.
Did I give it to you?
No, you didn't. It was The Lion. Steve did a series at the church. What was it called? The Lion and the...
I don't know.
Lion Chasers. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's
Lion Chasers.
Lion Chasers.
Yeah. Favorite book.
Favorite book.
Did you read it or listen to it?
I read it. I read it.
Okay, you read it.
I read it. I can't listen to books a whole lot. I kind of zone.
Yeah.
So then I go, oh, what did I miss?
So do you listen to podcasts?
I do.
So what's your favorite podcast?
Murdoch Murders.
How did I know? Like, such a hard one to guess.
You had to ask that one.
The Murdoch Murders.
Murdoch Murders.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I'm one episode behind right now.
You and Hope probably could do like 20 podcasts on the Murdoch Murders because y'all are the 13th and 14th jurors.
That's right. That's right.
of the Murdoch trials.
The Murdoch trials. That's right.
So anyways,
well, it's
cool.
your fault. You got
right.
me going
Yeah, I know.
on that
Right.
One. You got me going on that one.
Yeah. So yeah. Whenever I would drive up to appointments and my client would be waiting there, and I'm like, 1 minute, give me just a minute, and I'm trying to hurry up and finish the podcast.
Yeah, put it on.
You know you got a problem.
You know you got a problem.
You know
That's exactly right.
Like,
That's exactly right.
I stopped. I had to stop, and then I just relied on you and Hope to give me updates.
There you go. And we do a pretty good job,
That's
too.
right. That's right. So thank you, Traci Lou, for this episode. It's been fun.
Yeah.
I posted on our social media just yesterday, I think, that we never have any fun together.
Never have any fun.
There's no laughs or anything.
No laughter, no
when we all get together, there's no fun, no laughs, no nothing.
Nope.
Yep, all business.
Straight-laced and
yep. So,
down the road.
but anyway, it's cool. Thank you for joining in on this, and we're going to continue our conversation in the next podcast about your real estate journey. So, and I think a lot of new agents or agents that are changing careers midstream, midlife, whatever, I think they'll get a lot of value out of it. So it's cool. But anyways, so thank you all for joining us on this episode of the Gathering Place podcast. Join us on the next one to hear the rest of Traci Lou's story.